Alrighty. Hey Dot, it's Jojo again. Looking at granary this time. And first things first, I pulled up uh the logs page for the demo you sent me. And I'm pretty sure it's the right one, even though the demos page shows it went 3-4 and the logs page is 3-3. I'm pretty sure it's the same one. Give me 1 second, sorry. Oh my goodness, what's going on here? Okay, anyway. So yeah, I'm pretty sure they're the same one. And just like what we can glean from the stats themselves are a couple things. One, you did 47% of your damage with pipes and 50% with stickies. And I'm here to tell you that you sort of want to aim for about 1/3 pipes and about 2/3 stickies. That's not like a hard and fast rule, and sometimes you're going to vary from that a little bit. I do think Gully is a map where you're going to tend to actually be even more stickies than pipes, because just like you shoot a sticky and it's hard to miss almost in some spots. Um, but as you think about your own gameplay, if just check that stat, you're actually playing the only class where the stat matters. Uh, Check that stat, and if you are sub 60% sticky damage, you really need to think about, like, should I have been using stickies in more scenarios there? So I'm gonna try to keep an eye on that. Like, I suspect probably what's happening is, at least when you expect them to push, you set up a trap, or maybe you don't set up a trap, but you sort of just stand back and fire pipes across the point. And what you need to do is be spamming stickies, and it feels good to like kill 1 or 2 players with a trap, but honestly, 9 times out of 10, if it's like a coordinated spam effort, stickies are going to be better. Pipes or traps are good for like catching people out that don't expect there to be something there, but when your team is trying to make it hard to get in, you want to spam. Let's see, what else was there? I don't care about kills. Deaths, it's not great. But it's not like the clear issue, I would say. Um, oh, and then the heals. This is another thing that tells me that like you were probably playing pretty not confident and just like spamming pipes from really far away and doing nothing. Now I don't know that for sure, and we'll watch the demo and find out. But these are my theories, and I'm gonna look out for them. And then you had mentioned you were a little embarrassed about this performance. I just want to say, like, no worries. Here's where I played well and we won. And look, here's my most recent Gully match. I bottom damage. The other team shut me down pretty hard, and that's just the way it goes sometimes. And this was not a totally lopsided match. My team still got a round despite it. But I just was not able to really help all that much, despite getting the most heals in the lobby. Or my team, sorry. Anyways. Let's get started, I suppose. Maybe you already know this, but granary, and this is not really a demo thing. I don't remember. You are red demo. Oh yeah, the left-handed view model demo. Okay, maybe you're not actually on demo yet.
4, 3, 2, 1.
Anyway, I was gonna say granary is sort of a 7 CP map, which is sort of unusual. Typically we got 5 CP. But yard kind of is its own point. It doesn't actually change the spawn points, but you really should think of it as, something to be taken rather than just like, oh, we own 2, so we have yard. Okay, defaulting for a sticky up top. I don't mind it. So there wasn't really too much wrong with that mid. Your positioning was fine. I do think so. Like you walked into a pipe and that kind of sucks. And then once you do walk into that pipe, you have to back off. Like you can't stay up there. You need to drop down and get arrowed pretty much. Which does feel really bad, and it's why catching a pipe that early in mid often can decide mid. And then when you were up here and you were shooting point, like you kind of had the right idea, you know, shooting the clump of players on point. And this is just like a mechanics thing, but you were like firing the stickies too quickly and deading them too quickly. You need to like have some patience, let the stickies get actually over here to the players, and you know just aim slightly better. But like I said, that's a mechanics thing. It'll come. I realize that's not at 100. What's your spawn timer? Oh, you still have 12 seconds.
Alert. Our control.
Okay.
Point is being captured.
And I will. Oh, okay. Let me get my notes out so I can remember to do this. I can't type. Whew.
We have secured the control point.
Your team actually did win mid, which is nice. Shoot a sticky at that door. Like, you're not really doing anything too interesting yet. You know, your team's just looking to try to get a sack in, I assume. But you know, with that scout there, there's no reason not to shoot a sticky. You can, if he runs through, you might pipe him. Your sticky will hit him. You don't need to kill him on your own. Here, you need to, like, as of 2 seconds ago, you need to be really focused on making sure you have everything loaded. I'm pretty sure you don't have all your pipes loaded. And yeah, didn't have that many stickies loaded either. So you popped Uber into left yard. It's honestly... Uh-oh. I was gonna say, it's not like the worst thing to try to dry into left yard, but generally, I'd rather see you, send 1 or 2 players there rather than, you know, you yourself commit with Uber. I realize that's a team decision, but if you guys are like confused about what to do in that scenario, pick your scout who has the better DM, spam the player's left yard the best you can without actually committing through the door, and then tell your scout to run at him, and he'll either kill him, in which case left yard is yours for free, or he won't, in which case you reset and try again. There's no reason for you not to be walking out of spawn here. Okay, you guys aren't going to accomplish anything. You're already in the door. Yeah, just set up a trap. I don't really like this. I really... Oh, they don't have Uber yet. Never mind. I'm sorry. Yeah, that was all actually right. I was thinking they had Uber and that they could pop and kill you. Turns out I need to look at the screen. Okay, there's no reason they should be allowed to get through this door for free. Try to stay loaded. Try to stay healthy. Ask your team not to take damage here, because you are far and away the best class in this scenario. Alright, you guys have a pick on Lunchbox. You need to keep doing the same thing. Make sure they don't take room at the shutter. Same thing, like, your soldiers really don't... You don't want them taking damage here. You destroy the shutter. They don't. Alright, you're walking forward like you want to take a trade, but I don't think that's what you want to do. So you had a player sack and you got aggressive. I think you were a little too aggressive. I think if that demo had slightly better sticky placement, like, you would have died. I like the theory, just not quite the execution. Okay, your team decides to trade, which, based on your medic's health, I don't think was a terrible call, because by trading, you make your medic's health irrelevant. Whereas if you just trade spam, your medic might catch 2 more, like a roller and a couple spam rockets, and suddenly be 1 health, and you don't want that. However, if your team is going to trade like this, you need to do a couple things. One, you have to make sure you're loaded beforehand. And you need to, like, basically, as their Uber came around the corner, you were standing, like, back behind here where the scout is. And you need to, depending on where the trade happens, you need to either, like, be ready to be placing stickies on this door as your Uber goes through it. Because almost certainly they're going to, push your Uber back in. Now, if your scout calls, oh my god, it's incredible, get in, then you can walk forward and get a flash. But probably what's going to happen, because you're not trading on an advantage, you're just trading on, like, wanting to sort of let your medic be invincible, more or less. You need to expect this Uber to not accomplish all that much, and either trap the door if your scout gets in fairly deep with the Uber, or you need to, like, have already been standing here with sticks up here. You can see my mouse on the stream, right? I assume, I hope. Let me check. It'll be really awkward if not. Uh-oh. Oh, you should be able to. Okay. Gets in fairly deep with. Oh yeah, you can. Cool. Anyway. So yeah, those are my thoughts on that scenario. Honestly, the most important thing that you can apply to your gameplay all over is if your team expects to trade, you need to be loaded. Alright, scout runs their Uber, kills your med. That's unfortunate. A small nitpick would have been, there's an argument that you shouldn't have been looking at that scout, but I think it was fine since the other team was so far away. Okay, they have heals, you have 1 up, you're not going to accomplish anything. You can set a trap, but you need to be careful not to get pushed. Your 2 ways of doing that are either to be, like, way out into last, or you need to have vision over into lunchbox. If a player walks through lunchbox, you can't see them right now, so you need to be, like, positioned in such a way that you can see that. See, like, there you can see it. And you can turn in fire stickies as you need to, but try to keep an eye on that right-hand side. Yeah, this I actually don't like, where you just can't see right at all, even though you're further back. Okay, their demo's dead. You absolutely should be taking yard here. I know they have an advantage, but you have 6 players and they don't have a demo. Calls hold 2. You're going to set up some traps. Now here, I wouldn't honestly even be placing these traps if you need ammo, which at this point surely you need ammo, don't you? Holy, you death their sniper down to 5 health, I think. Okay, they called Uber. Looks like your team wants to trade. Obviously, with, all the information I have, I don't think that's a very good play. It seems like maybe your scout thought it was advantage. Now, here's sort of the same thing. Like, you're shooting pipes right now. You should be placing stickies up here, for sure. Stickies here or, like, on this box. And I realize you have them here, but, like, I want them more aggressive. Even just, like, a carpet of stickies in this area would be really good. Honestly, that would probably be ideal. This is a sticky scenario. And there's, like, no reason you shouldn't have 8 stickies loaded here. Yeah, see, here you're just sort of hoping to hit a pipe. And really what I want you to do is, like, fire stickies at the floor and death them, and you don't have to hope. They will hit something.
Alert. The control point is being contested.
Are you not going to deny anything? Yep, I like this. You're walking directly into garage. Say, if I were you, I'd be trying to walk up this ramp and spam into yard to get some damage, because it looks like your team wants to be aggressive. You get a free soldier. Now, with this free soldier, here's what you need to do. You see there's a soldier here and a demo here. That means there is no spam in left yard. Left yard is yours for free. Once you get into left yard, you have the option to go to lunchbox with your soldiers, which is really strong. You can go through Z. Once again, you shouldn't really lead these pushes. But left yard is just so powerful. Because they can't go to mid on you. You can go to 2 on them. They're down a player. Left yard is... You want it so bad. You know their demo doesn't have a trap on the door.
The control point is being captured.
Was he in forwards? Nope. Alrighty then. That's just unlucky. I was going to say the soldier went behind you, choke. Good job walking forward, because that guy kills you if you, like, stay there. Okay. Alright, they are going to have a little bit of Uber advantage. Not actually that big. Your team is fighting in right yard here. I would be peeking it to see if I can help them get out. Now it's too late. You can't peek this anymore. Okay, you see them here. They have a pick. You know they have Uber advantage. If you're playing that they don't have Uber yet, holding this door closed like this is good. However, down a scout, just, you know, be concerned they might shove a door. So, like, have a plan to get out. And for you, that is, like, back up and then jump to choke, most likely. And that was another situation, by the way. They were walking past garage there. You fired pipes. If you had fired 2 stickies, you get way more damage and, like, disrupt their push. Just a ton. So definitely, like I mentioned, looking at the logs, what I'm noticing is, like, when there are players in front of you, you seem to want to shoot pipes at them. When there are not players in front of you, you're placing traps. I want you to be using pipes as your primary. Like, I know you've probably heard that a million times and whatever, but it's, like, definitely true that you're not doing that. So given that you aren't a part of this Uber, you probably should have walked to top garage. Soldier landing on this red crate kills you Omega for free. You're getting a back half. Okay, so you're getting a back half. Your goal at this point, obviously, is to win the fight, but your real goal is to not let them stack mid and cap before your guy does. There's a couple ways you can do that. You can either just, like, commit immediately and deny as much cap time with your body as possible. Although, given that you have players alive, more ideally would be to let your other players do that and then shoot the players that are shooting your players. Yeah, if you had gone top garage there, like, you get to shoot down at the floor, and you're either harder to kill, like, you will die, but it just takes them longer to kill you, which is good. Or you get to rain down 5 stickies on the opponents, and your logs look awesome. It doesn't change the round, because you won anyway. But, yeah, if your team had taken a little longer to win that fight or something like that, it would have been very good. Okay, why are there pipes in your hand right now? Like, what are you doing with these pipes? Be reloading stickies, you know? There you go. Oh! Oh, your scout saved your life. Got him. In that scenario, you tell your team, got mine.
Our control point is being captured.
That's like, unironically, a really bad trade for them.
Control point.
They don't want that trade. They'd much rather their scouts stayed alive and you also stayed alive. They may have been able to take last if you don't get that trade there. I'm not sure about that. I'd have to look at it a little more closely, but... Okay. Oh no, they don't have Uber. That's fine. This is fine. You do know that they're a team that has pulled out Sniper a couple times, so be wary of that. You'll find sometimes a team in this situation, like one of their players would have been on Sniper. Not super common, and it's not terrible to like make them prove that after a mid, that they will do that, but something to think about. I feel like you should probably go get ammo. I don't think you're like low necessarily. It just feels to me like I haven't seen you pick up an ammo pack in a little while. And maybe you've still got half your ammo, but like, why not take the ammo? Holy, the jukes on those rockets. I don't really like what you're doing right now. You're like pressuring 0 doors. You can see everything, and that's great, but there isn't a door that if somebody walks through, you can do anything about it. Like okay, so if like 3 people walk through this door and stand here, sure, you'll destroy them. But other than that, like if somebody walks through, like a soldier will get to jump before you can react and fire a sticky. So I feel like you're having very little impact on this hold right now. There, we sort of mentioned it before. Like, you have a heavy there shooting that guy. That guy's not killing your bed. Go, like, spam a door. Find damage on something that maybe your counter sack can follow up on. Okay. Oops. I almost just screwed the whole demo. Your guy has died. I assume the plan is no longer to do anything. Back up. I assume you resuck for ammo. I don't know. But like there is ammo close to these doors. You should have a dispenser somewhere, I imagine, but I don't really know that for sure. Maybe you don't have one. Owned. So same deal here, like you're kind of close to this door now. Close enough that if somebody ran through, you know, they would be a threat to you. There should be stickies on it. Alright, you thought about it. Let me speed this up a little bit. Because... Alright, the demo overextends. They get a kill. I would still, yeah, this is sort of awkward. 4v4, they don't have any spam. Or not. Sorry, they have very little spam. They do have a sniper, though, so you sort of need to chill. Yeah, playing for a reset.
Mission ends in 30 seconds.
Hey, there's the stickies. That's pipes. Uh,
Alert. The control point is being contested.
ooh.
We have captured the control point.
I don't know if I like this. I think maybe you guys should have played for the reset. Basically, you should play for the reset there unless you're pretty sure you can deny their forward spawns and take mid off it. So either you all need to stack or you just need to not cap it all. Alright, Uber advantage. If you're going to pop through, I'd like to see you through the door first and jumping. You get 3. Cool. Awesome. Like I said, I think on this map, you sort of need your demo. You can either go choke and not pop through right away. You've got a little bit of space to work with choke. But garage is pretty scary, and you kind of need to pop if you're going to go there. Unless you have some reason to think that, you know, they're not going to be close. Maybe, like, the way they've played has indicated that's not the case. But you don't know enough about this team to make that call, I would say. Alright, you've heard they have a sniper. I assume somebody's called it because the sniper shot at somebody. You know they have ad, so you should expect them to be walking into you. Their medic dropped. That's epic. Yeah, you need to get health. Your scouts fighting, like, should back up to you. It's cool that they get these kills, but I think that was a mistake. Anyways, they had ad. I think you were too far forward. But, like, I understand what the theory was. The thing I liked about it is, like, you had a reason why you thought you should be there, and it was because that soldier was trapped in. There was a situation, I know I said, like, oh, I want you to be shooting stickies. Pipes were the right play, because that scout has to die immediately. I like this jump into the spawn. Now, it doesn't work out. You didn't have quite enough Uber to reflash you, but I actually think you played that really well. The, like, jump into last. I'm not sure how much damage you got, but it was potentially a ton, and even if you didn't get a ton, like, it was still right. Okay, so here you're over-focusing the demo. You should be shooting the players that, like, are more of a threat to your team, mainly the scout, and then I believe there's a player down here on the bottom right who ran across this, here. Like, in order of importance, somebody here is the worst for you, somebody here is the second worst for you, generally. Now, if you're on the right side, that flips. And, you know, these blue crates are then next, and then lastly is these guys up here. I think it's, like, pretty hard to do a ton of damage on this mid as demo. Like on Gully, you show up, you fire 3 stickies, each sticky hits 3 people for 40, and you tell your team that they're carried noob idiots and you're the best player ever. But on this map, like, you kind of need to just play to deny them positioning a lot of the time, and then you do that by shooting the tops of the crates rather than, like, focusing on the demo.
The control point is being contested.
Alright, they have ad, you have spawned. I like this trap. Okay, they see it now. You need to back up. You can't stop. You can't keep denying them here. The instant you see a player see you put stickies there, you have to leave. Yeah, that trap is really only useful as a surprise there, because they're not going to be pressured by the rest of your team, so it's hard for them to, like... They should think to check it. Or sorry, if your team is pressuring there, it doesn't matter that they see you placing it. Like, your team is creating pressure, which means that trap is going to be more useful. But because they can't, you know, they see it, and it's, like, the only thing they have to worry about. Now, it did work out. You hit a couple sick pipes, and your soldier hit a couple sick rockets, but yeah, I don't know. That's why I don't think it was the right play. Okay, you get a kill on the flank. Now, here's the thing that you've been doing a lot, is you get a kill on the flank, and then you sort of shove your face into this door. And like I said, I like that you're getting aggressive. I'm just a little concerned with, like, how aggressive you're being. Because the theory is you're trying to draw attention. And if you were a full 260 every time you did it, I would love it. But you're just, like, not full buffed every time, and you're just, like, a little too aggressive. Something I really like about your play is, like, I really understand, like, when you are making a decision, like, I understand why you're doing it. There's, like, a thought as to why you think this is the right play, even when it is not the right play. You know, sometimes it's wrong. But it's, like, pretty clear, like... Oof. Okay, so you catch their demo there, or, you know, you pipe their demo, and then you also catch a bunch of spam. Your two options are to hard leave or to instantly pop Uber. I'm not sure what the call was, but your medic obviously wanted to leave. I actually think that it would have been, like, their demo dies there if you pop, and you know. But in that scenario, it can't be on your med to, like, know that you should pop. So I don't know who made the call. But if you start, you hit that pipe and you see that demo close there and you know you have the super ad, you start shouting to pop. No one else's call matters. Don't call damage, don't call positioning, call to pop. You need to look to be buffed before you turn that corner. And that's exactly why. I think you probably should have had crit heal, so it would have been easy. You can't peek this at 175, like either direction, really.
Our control point is being captured.
A 260 demo beats a 300 soldier in that exchange, but a 175 demo loses to a 200 soldier. Owned. Alright, stickies, I like this. Oops, need to reset to 100. Okay, it's super rad. You currently have a soldier kill. I would like to see you bully out Lunchbox, or sorry, see your team bully Lunchbox while you hold right side. There's a sticky on the floor. Someone shoot it, please. Terrifying.
The control point is being captured.
Ooh, your med caught some spam, eh? Alright, so there was actually a scenario where... Wait, you still have sticks loaded? I assumed you were out of sticks. I was gonna say the pipes were good because you're out of sticks, and if a player pushes that door, you die, so you simply must fight them. But you had sticks.
The control point is being captured.
Yeah, you can't really stay there. I thought you were leaving, but they have big Uberad. They have kills. There's not much you can accomplish by being in Garage. Garage is a scary place to be, especially as like a non-tank demo man. Okay. Where are we at? They have Uberad. They no longer have Uberad. Making me look like an idiot. Okay. Tell one of your scouts to run at that guy. You just hit him for 120 or some shit. Kill him. Good job, scouts. I say you are like... I noticed the beam isn't on you. I noticed the beam wasn't on your scout who's closer to choke. Like, from your perspective, the medic isn't with you, and you need to know why or where they are. They are backcapping, so likely what has happened is that your medic has turned around to help the players dealing with the backcap. I really wish this was assisted by your med. That would make my point really convenient here. Nope. Okay. So they're just behind you and haven't healed you yet. And in fact are going with that scout to choke. It looks like the beam's on you, but I don't know, you're not healthy. There, you're healthy. Okay.
The control point is being contested.
Okay. Alright, you absolutely need to be getting buffed here. Partially on your medic, like, just full ignoring you there. It is fine to ask with your voice for heals, by the way. Like, I can hear you pressing E for medic, and maybe you are. But if you're not, you should be telling your med to buff you there. Yep, jump in. You have huge player advantage. You hit one sticky, and you kind of win this fight for free. Your team is really slow to follow up there. Yeah, the fact that you fired 2 pipes and a sticky at that heavy, like, before your team showed up, really confuses me. There's an argument that you should have shot the shutters, and some people may tell you that's what you should have done there, but I think shooting the heavy was correct for sure. I find it really interesting that in 23 minutes you've gone up 3-0, and then I guess in the next 7 minutes you lose 3 rounds straight. Potentially 4. I'm not really sure about that. Okay. So, same thing here. You're sort of shooting at bats. This guy over here, Critical, he's your problem. One, he's furthest from heals, so, like, it's tough for him to, you know, like, if you do damage to him, it's gonna stick. Whereas this guy, like, is within the beam range, and he will get healed immediately. Okay, there's 4 players standing on blue, and you're shooting blue. Excellent. Or, like, the, you know, the blue crate. That is the exception to shoot the guy closest when there's just infinite damage to be had. I think, other than, like, 1 or 2 little moments there, like, you played the mid good, just a mechanics thing. As you get better, you'll hit more and more stickies on those players blue, and you'll just destroy them. Because your positioning there was good.
We have lost the control point.
Alright, they have small ad. They may try to push it. We'll find out. You are too aggressive with 175 here again. Like, this is absolutely a situation. Like, it's fine to peek this because they don't have Uber yet, but you should be 260. So you're playing pretty close to the store, which I don't have a problem with now that you've got a little bit of a buff. However, so you just play stickies on this wall, and the soldier and scout cleared them, and now you're shooting stickies here, which is like the right idea, you know. You don't want this guy to be able to run at you, but he knows there's stickies there, so he's gonna like either clear them or jump on this side or jump through in a way that's hard to dead on him. I would put stickies just sort of carpet so that, like, he sees them, he knows they're there. Clearing them he can do, but, like, if he just scatters stickies around the floor, like, who cares? Honestly, even more than that, what I would do probably is put stickies here, where it's, like, hard to clear them with a rocket. And if he runs at you, like, you have a plenty of time to react and det. Okay, they have Uber. I don't know if you guys know that. You obviously don't. Oh my god, get 2-piped, idiot. Don't get greedy here. I know you just 2-piped a guy. What are the odds you get another one? Doesn't it seem more likely that a scout runs at you and kills you here? Okay, Ubers are being traded, and you're not shooting your Uber's feet. This is definitely a case of, like... Oh, yeah. I don't know why I didn't say this sooner. I didn't think about this at all. You, during even Ubers, situations onto in yard, you need to be holding garage because you need to stop them from just throwing a player like a scout to 1v1 your player in left yard. You have to be holding garage. I don't know why I didn't. Sorry. Start over. It's not correct for you to be holding choke there. Yeah, I don't know how much of a call you got about how good the Ubers were, because it was pretty hard to see from your scenario. If your team is calling like, oh, Uber's bad, we have to run, then you need to just jump out. You're not like, okay, maybe you hit 2 pipe somebody and like now they have 5 players instead of 6, but there's no world where you live if you know the Uber is as bad as it was. Now maybe you didn't know that. You know, it's hard to know. But yeah, by default you should be absolutely holding garage. Now if you see beam, like rotate to left side, then it's fine to shoot left side. It showed, but garage is definitely where you want to be. Holy DH. You kind of exploded that mid, huh? I got distracted by that DH, but it looked like you just sort of caught a couple stickies and maybe it didn't look like a soldier landed on you. Seems like maybe their spam was just really good. And part of that's because you're getting you've like walked top left every time. They're getting a little predictable. Okay, this Uber is potentially really good. Both of their scouts are behind you somehow. I don't even know what to tell you, like how to react to that scenario because it's not a normal one. When the one scout was behind, like I think the call should have been to back up and deal with him because either you as a team deal with him or he kills you for sure. Was 2 is like I guess that's even more true. Just highly unusual. Yeah. Nothing you could do there. Oh, you hate to see that. Ban that weapon for real. Okay, yeah. So there the demo's on the floor just nuking you, and you're tunnel visioned, like, on bats again pretty hard for the med. If the demo is, like, looking up at you like that, just shoot him. He's right in front of you. Additionally, I think if you back up slightly, while your team takes the space, like, top left, the demo has to pick between shooting you or your team, rather than, like, just holding W with him. And it doesn't have to be much, just like the width of this red crate. But yeah, the demo just like knows you're gonna walk top left, shot 3 stickies, and you giga evaporated. And I think that's mostly because you've done the same thing on every mid. Nice damage. One of your soldiers definitely should be like landing on their heads right now because of all your damage, and also you have a kill. Alternatively, you could trade. But personally, I think a trade just results in like a reset. Whereas I think if one of your soldier gets in, he can get at least a kill or a force. Right ID here, shooting at the door, even though like you know they're behind you. The only way you win that is you kill 2, like walking through the door. The players who are behind you on point are pretty irrelevant from your perspective. Okay, so map CP underscore granary. Is it pro? I don't know what it is. We'll do this one. It's probably right. Okay, wrong class. Okay, so couple of things. One, your static jumps are a little short. Whatever, you know, you'll like get used to those with more time. Two, there's a couple options. Do this hurt me minus. If so, the mid you were doing was you would jump here, land up top. That was a bad jump. Do as I say, not as I do. But instead of walking that way every time, you can drop down and get this pack. Occasionally, I like your default. Like that's a good default, but you know, just need to consider your options. However, what I really want to talk about is your like not the mechanics of your rollout, although I'll talk about that too a little bit. Is you're landing here and like walking this way every time. Something else you want to do occasionally is come through choke, charge up your sticky, shoot this pack, and basically like you get this pack and you are on the floor, but you are healthy. And you don't want to like walk through the same door every time, because if their demo's a little faster than you, he like owns you for walking through a door predictably. And then how you want to go about that. Your first jump is the same to this door, you know. And then from here, you have a couple options. You can either, like... Wow. Another one of them crouch deaths that I was talking about last week. You can either... what I like to do is... Like, the best jump... I'm sorry, I'm nerding out about rollouts. The best jump you can possibly do is this. Oh, fuck. But, like, it's really hard, and I don't do it. It's too hard. But if you want to go up top like you're doing, pretty much you're doing the right thing. You place the sticky, you do like a fairly small jump to this pack, because you don't want to use up too much health, then you jump up top. And please excuse my rollouts, I'm not practiced right now on this map. But then if you want to go choke, you don't actually need that pack, so you should do a crouch jet, come over here. And if you don't want to crouch jet, if you're not comfortable, if you just want to do like one of these kinds of jumps, that's fine. Just, you know, something to like think about in the future. Come to choke. I sticky like this most of the time. This is fine, whatever, however you want to fight the sticky. I know left-handed view models like makes this different too. But you jump to choke, and that's actually like a good reason why, you know, like this wall sticky is good, because it's like such a long distance to jump. And if you're really pro, you can surf the stairs, but it's not super consistent unless you're like a tier 6 jumper. So anyway, try that out. An old European thing to do occasionally would be take this, come over this way. But like, I don't really like this. But if you think you can get here fast and shoot their choke, it can be decent occasionally. Not something I would try though, unless like you're really desperate. Yeah. At one point, you guys, something you did a bunch was your team would Uber in through here and you weren't involved. And I think in those scenarios, you just come up here. You can see so much more. You feel so much safer. So, you know, play with that. Alternatively, if you are going to be in the Uber, you need to, like, spot their medic and jump the door he's trying to leave. So, yeah. In summary, the absolute biggest thing you should come away from this is, when I see players, I want to be trying to shoot stickies. If there is, like, more than one player on your screen, it's sticky time. If there are a single player on your screen and they don't have to die immediately right this second or they're going to kill their bed, it's sticky time. Just, like, sticky, 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 stickies. And then, yeah, try to change up what you're doing on mids just a little bit. I like what you're doing, but you need to, like, have one or two more tricks. Come over here, shoot that sticky, maybe shoot a second one, maybe shoot one up top, depending on what you think they're doing. You can shoot these crates off. When you're coming here, like, these are much easier to deal with than that. And in theory, your team is left side, so like you have a scout or a soldier who can deal with that a little bit more. But really, you want to be shooting the guys off these crates here. Oh my goodness. Don't look at me. Yeah, same thing. Like, you want to shoot them off here and here. This is less your problem. And don't be afraid to, like, drop down. Unless there's, like, a soldier right there. Oh, alright. Well, feel free to send me any questions you have. And I'll happily answer them. Otherwise, good luck. Send me another demo when you're ready. Have a nice day.